Howdy, howdy, folks. Your one and only and favorite Kurazar here. Also, least favorite Kurazar. From the one and only. Welcome to Sebastian and Rivy Sticks and Phaedry and Pamela Wild and Never Johnson and Solston. And I think that's everyone so far. And Nickel, welcome. And welcome Nightbot, our good friend Nightbot, who's reliable and lets us test in a safe environment away from production. Oh, wait, no. Hey, old mistress. Welcome. Glad to see you here tonight. Hey there, Sam Patton. Good evening. Evening. You almost forgot without notifications? I mean, this is going to be a pretty chill, not super like building or anything stream. This is meant to be just doing chores, so it's just a fun come and hang out, kind of chill while we chat and do some chores. Hey there, Ben. It's too late for you? Well, we'll catch you next time. And you'll be able to watch the VOD later, so that's not changing. Invalid parameter. Thanks, Nightbot. Are you here? Yes, no. Yeah, I think Nightbot's pretty well dead. Their docu still says they use strawpoll.me, and it doesn't exist anymore. So I think we're gonna have to go poll commando. Hey there, Crone22. Welcome, huh? Huh? Well, we still have 2 minutes to go, but I figure since this is a much more informal stream, I'm gonna go ahead and pop us in to the game here momentarily. And I've got my Word document up with some 20 questions, and here we are in the game. So, hello, folks. Welcome to our first of probably a few chore streams. We're just going to kind of hang out here and chill and chat and answer 20 questions. And my name is Kurazar, as always. So welcome to everybody who is in the chat. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the little like button. It does help the stream's visibility during and after it ends. So yeah, well, let's get started. I have a small list of chores to do today. Oh, I forgot we made another pair of shears. Good. That list is basically shear some trees, chop some trees, cut some grass with a scythe, and pan all of the bony soil that we have here. Oh, I thought we had more than 28. Oh well, that's fine. That will still take a while. Oh, the poll's working, sort of. New test, yes, no. Oh, so it does go to strawpoll.com. Alright. That's pretty cool. Good to know. Alright, well, I'm going to start here with a bit of midnight snack. Since it's calm, we will just hang out in the dark here. And we'll only go to bed if it starts to get scary out. So, first order of business is going to be to get some sticks. I'm going to try to answer your 20 questions while I work. We'll see how well I can split my attention here. I don't make any guarantees that it'll be graceful. So, let's see. Our first 20 question is from Picketdim. And they ask, are you considering making another Star Sector series in the new 0.97 update? So I will preface this by saying, first of all, I have not been able to put Star Sector down. I play it like most nights that I'm not like streaming or doing other videos. I will play Star Sector. It is just I can't get out of my head, and I am loving 0.97. and I don't have an axe. Well, that's staying there for a second. But I'm not currently planning a 0.97 playthrough at the moment, because the non-Vintage Story series is generally, if not always, voted on by Patreons first and then by YouTube polls. And if folks want Star Sector, then you get Star Sector. If not, then you don't. However, I don't always leave it up to people voting. Sometimes I will have a particular game that I really want to play. And I think I did that with Star Sector. I'm not positive, but I think I did. Where I was like, I'm playing Star Sector and y'all are going to come along for the ride. I was just really excited to play it and record it and see what people thought. So at the moment, the answer is no. No plans to. I would like to. And we're probably getting within a few weeks of the end of Sunless Sea, which means that it'll be time to either take a small break of other series, or it might be time to put a poll up, or I might decide Star Sector. So, I don't know. I probably will start with the poll of the Patreon patrons, and then we'll take it from there. Let's see. Someone had put a question in chat here. Kern22 said, "Did you get the bony soil from the small ruin I was running around in?" The one with like one piece? No, I didn't. I'll go get that later before we start the bony soil panning stuff. Good point. Our next 20 questions question comes from Noble, and they are asking, have I answered any questions in the Sunless Sea playthrough? I have not, actually. And that's mostly because I try to keep the questions in the series they came from. I don't always, like, if I only ever get, like, one from a series... actually, I think I did. In Star Sector, I got a couple onesie-twosie questions here and there. And I answered them in the videos. It wasn't, like, a full-on 20 questions segment. It was just like, hey, while we're traveling, so I got a question from somebody, and I'm pretty sure I fumbled with my phone to bring it up for a minute, and then I just, did it that way. It was okay. It was fine, I guess. Very informal. And I'm still having to, like, pause talking every now and then and just, like, evacuate my entire throat. All the citizens leave, because I went straight from toddler plague to allergy season. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Hey there, Cry Select. Welcome to the chat and welcome to the stream. Hey, Sonero. Welcome to you too. Thanks for being here, guys. Good to see everybody. We are just chopping down some... Well, we're shearing trees first, then chopping them down later. Because we need a lot of sticks for the future, and I don't have a ton. So we're going to change that to some extent tonight. Although acacias are pretty generous with sticks, though, so not super worried about getting enough. Oh yes, while we're shearing grass later, I also want to shear these guys, or shear scythe. We'll scythe that stuff down too. Let's see. Yeah, you have some leaves. You're a really lopsided tree there. Hey, there's Sebastian Holocraft and Jennifer Walker. You love watching me? Thank you. Thank you. Glad you do. Sebastian says you had a cold too, and then the trees came out. Yeah, I have a big oak tree next to our house that just coats the world in yellow every spring. I used to have a big row of privet, and I did not realize until I bought this house just how nasty privet gets with pollen. Our entire kitchen table would just be dusted yellow. This is indoors, beyond a screen and everything. And the privet was just did a real number on my patience mostly. So, moving on to our next 20 questions question, if I don't fall down to my death. There we go. We have a question from Radley Boo, or Radley BO0. Not sure which it is there. How does your spouse feel about your YouTubing, and does the time it takes to record these videos ever cause challenges for you and your family to work around? So first of all, Kurazette is actually very supportive of my YouTubing. We're both kind of like, I would say sedentary. It doesn't quite describe us. We're more sedimentary as our lifestyle. We both have hobbies that generally require us to sit and be still for hours at a time. And she likes that it's a creative endeavor, and that it's sort of a way for me to get a bit of social outlet time in for myself, and still also be at the house. It's good to have me around for dealing with our kid and so on. So it works out pretty well. As far as like the time it takes to record, no, I usually try to avoid. I always try to avoid bumping family time for YouTube time. I mostly sacrifice my sleep for that instead, or I did for a while. There've been a few times, especially during season 1, before I really got into the groove of how to record and edit efficiently, where I didn't allocate and plan my time properly, and I ended up in a situation where I had a lot of editing to do and not a lot of time to do it in, and I was wired. I had just had we just had our kid, and so I was staying up late anyway, and I figured, if I'm going to stay up late and be sleepless, I may as well edit. But yeah, so far, it really hasn't impacted my time with family. We tend to plan, or I tend to plan my YouTubing around that instead of the other way around. Because this isn't a job for me. This is a hobby. It brings in a little bit of money, mostly supporting itself, really. If I have a computer problem or I need to do an upgrade, like when my last laptop died, it's helping to basically pay for itself. And that's it's fine. If I were fortunate enough to be able to do this like as a full-time thing, I probably would, because my childhood dream was to play video games and get paid to do it. We're a little ways away from that, though. I did the math, and I would need to increase the channel's size by about a factor of 12 to support my current lifestyle. So not likely to happen in the near future. And I would say I'd keep my fingers crossed, but that makes playing games kind of hard. So I'm not going to keep my fingers crossed for that. Never Johnson, you clean parking lots with a work truck that makes a lot of dust. Oh, like a street cleaner. Yeah, those can get... We actually have a neighborhood street cleaner, which was really weird, because growing up, I'd never imagined those were a thing. But apparently they are a thing. And whenever it comes by, like, yes, the streets get clean, but it just makes the air not clean. Just like, maybe spray it down with water first or something? I don't know. What percentage of viewers are not subscribed? Actually, surprisingly low. I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, but when I checked, it was like 60 to 80% of people were subscribed. So I'm pretty happy about that. Thought I heard a weird sound, but my ears deceived me. And we're gonna need some more axes. I'm gonna take down the acacias first. Oh, did more just grow, or was I blind? Yeah, and I think the viewership count of subscribers and not subscribed is like probably due to Vintage Story is really a niche interest. It is, it's not a popular game. It's growing, and there are a few YouTubers who play it and have a lot of subscribers, but it's generally not their main thing. The two I can think of would be Mischief of Mice and Radamant. Now, Radamant gets really good viewership. I think he has a dedicated viewership that sort of watch whatever he plays. But he does get good viewership on his Vintage Story material, which is great to see. I would like to see the game getting more attention. And then Mischief of Mice also has pretty good viewership, but I think most of their work was from the other block game, whose name I totally didn't say in a previous stream. I've never said that name doesn't exist. Right, guys? I never said it. Let's get a few of these here. And I'll take a peek at the chat. Hello, Frank Champagne Jr. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to tree chopping. You think Rad needs to revisit Stationeers? I've never played Stationeers, so I don't really know much about it. Ooh, that's right, we had a bit of a copper mine there. How's our stick supply doing? Doing good. Or doing well, technically. The English major in me just shudders when I say doing good. Ooh. That was close. Say it again. Say what again? I didn't say anything. I would never cuss on live on stream. Not me. And I would never blaspheme this game with any other. Ever. That was close. I did did almost just I didn't fall to my death, but pretty funny. James Winterbottom, hey, first of all, welcome. And do the leaves grow back if I don't cut them down? No, they do not. The only leaves that grow back are fruit tree leaves, and those are, of course, a very special breed of leaf. Hey there, Ruben Ham. You recently found the channel. I love the streams. Thank you. Glad you found us. By us, I mean, I'm using the royal we, the royal us. So getting back to our 20 questions, I have one from Lake Filter, who asks, if you were able to meet with your younger self, what are some tips and stories you would like to share with them, especially when it comes to married life and raising kids? Ooh. I always hesitate when I think about going back in time and talking to my younger self, because a lot of the things that a lot of what makes up me, my life today, is dependent on me having made the decisions I made, including the mistakes when I was a kid and younger adult. I mean, I'm like 20. I'm 20 something. That's right. That's me. So, whoops, that wasn't supposed to go there. It's supposed to be the flint. So, I don't know that I would say much to me. Aside from, I think I'd say, don't be afraid to make the mistakes that you will make. Things will work out. I wouldn't say that I've had, any point in my life where it was really terrible, but I did have some experiences that sort of left lingering anxieties about certain topics. And so I think I would mostly tell myself, things do work out in the end. Don't rush things. Listen to your gut, I think would be the biggest one. Oh yeah, go back. Solson says go back and invest in blank. That might, again, while that might make me wealthier, would it impact the rest of my life to some extent that would render my current life unattainable? Would I be living somewhere completely differently, doing different things? Might I have, struck it rich, made a dumb decision, bought a fast car, and driven into a tree? I don't think I would, but that me of that timeline could be a really different person. I don't know. And we need some more stick storage. Let's do stick storage. These all empty, except for that one. Stick storage goes in here. I could make some crates too, but I'll do that later. Later indeed. Actually, as far as go back and invest, I do have a funny story. I razz my dad all the time. Kura dad. because back when Tesla was about 25 bucks a share, I was like, hey, you know, Dad, you're an accountant and you're into finance. What do you think of this Tesla stock? I mean, they're getting into making electric cars, and big batteries were just coming out, and they were, you know, a big pioneer in the battery space. And I always razzed him because he was like, nah, they're going to go nowhere. Tesla's just going to fall into a pit and go nowhere. And, well, I caught him when they hit like 800 bucks or $1,000 a share, whatever it was they got up to. I was like, hey, Dad, remember you told me not to buy this stock? He's like, yeah, I know. I'm kicking myself, too. I still bring it up now and then. A little salty about it, not going to lie. Jennifer Walker in chat asks, would I consider the game to be for newbies? Yeah. Actually, I've actually gotten several of my friends who are newbies in the block and or survival game genre into Vintage Story. I have a friend who I could have sworn played the other block game. And when I started explaining things kind of in ways that necessitated knowledge of the other block game, he's like, wait, how do I do this? I'm like, oh, haven't you played the other block game? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, well then I'm gonna have to rethink how I explain things to you. Yeah, I mean, it helps to have experience with other games. As far as the game's difficulty goes, if you're coming from a completely non-gamer background, it can be tough to get into. And I think I'd recommend playing, actually probably watching. Like I do the guide series. A lot of games that I get into, including Vintage Story, I don't play until I've watched like a number of hours of them. I got into Vintage Story that way. I got into Star Sector that way. And especially because it's in early access, so the game isn't fleshed out. I mean, they have a very basic tutorial, and all the systems that the game's going to have aren't all complete yet. So I think that makes it a bit more complicated to get into when there might be even early game systems that Tyron has in mind for, you know, improvements to that are clunky and or difficult or just not explained. That can make the game difficult. As far as overall difficulty goes, if you're struggling with a particular part of the game, say like Wolf Mistress just suggested monsters, turn them off. And if you get used to the game and you make some armor and some weapons and you want to make it tougher again, you can turn them back on with the game console. You go into creative mode, hit enter here, and you can use the commands to make the game more difficult or less difficult. But yeah, if you're struggling with food spoilage or food acquisition, turn them off until you or lower the difficulty in that regard. So you could make your satiation drop slower or double the food spoiler timers until you get used to the game's flow. Once you've played the game a couple times, and you start learning the systems and how to explore, I think it's the biggest one, honestly. Exploration is one that, if you don't do it aggressively from the start, you're going to suffer from inability to find crops. You won't find resources like limestone, unless you happen to spawn on it. You'll have trouble finding basically everything, because you really have to explore and go places to find the things that you're going to need for the rest of the game. Now, we've gotten pretty lucky here. That's the wrong button. We haven't explored much, but we have a good chunk of almost everything we need right here. And so you could also consider starting up a game and going into, oh, hello, Rift, going into creative mode and sort of like hit F3 twice. It'll put you into no-clip mode and fly around underground. See what kinds of treasures down there. See what kinds of stone is down there, especially. Because the stone types will dictate a lot of your resource types that you'll find in the area. So, for instance, we're in sandstone, which is a sedimentary rock. And a lot of resources like coal, borax, sulfur. That's our last one. But a lot of resources don't spawn outside of sedimentary rocks. So you're not going to find borax if you're in a giant granite area. But we are good on wood. Okay. I might also add a charcoal pit to our list of things to do today before we call the stream. But yeah, once you get used to the loop, once you get to the used to the exploration, and especially getting the early game crops up and running, I think that's kind of the biggest hurdle that new players struggle with the most that I see when I'm watching newbies play, is they go and they find like 1 or 2 seeds of each type and they put it in the ground. They're like, I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not. You are definitely not done. Let's go get some bones for these axes. I dump some of this wood off too. Hello, Eugene Roberts and Wobbly Boost. And hello, Sandstorm. And Joshua D. Bybee. Welcome, all of you, to the stream. Glad to see all of you here. Let's drop our sticks in here, or we're actually out of sticks. We've gotten all the sticks, okay. I'm going to start moving the acacia into here, but I think I am going to probably do another charcoal run. I've already taken down our charcoal pit. That's fine. And let's drop you in here. And I guess you too. There we go. Yeah, you're right, Sinner. You never stop getting excited for flaxseed. It's you need it throughout the game. I mean, there does come a point when you have like 3 full fields of 64 flax, where you're like, yeah, I'm good, and like it's more work to just harvest it all than it is to just wait once you planted 3 fields. But yeah. Hey there, Fish Licker. Is there any way I can slow down my gameplay? You already have full iron plate before first fall. Yeah, slow down. Or better yet, tie one of your fingers to the other. As far as slowing down, of course I put the seeds out over there, didn't I? Well, that is a later Corsair problem. I think the biggest thing for slowing down gameplay is just to remember to stop and smell the roses along the way. You know, instead of making your goal get to iron, make your goal, I want to put windows in my house. So that means you can get to the Bronze Age, or you can actually do windows before the Bronze Age by just collecting enough quartz off the ground, or even panning for it. I don't recommend panning for a lot of quartz, though. It's very time-consuming, but if you're really bored, or you just want to, you want to do something while you watch a TV show, it's doable, I think. Yeah, make a bigger house is a good suggestion. You know, find resources that you haven't gotten yet, like bees or more flowers. Build a garden. Take a trip south. You don't need heavy armor to go on a big southerly exploration. In fact, I actually wouldn't recommend it because you want to be pretty light on your feet. Hey there, Chris W. Thanks for streaming at a time that you can finally catch one live. Well, I'm glad you're here. You must be in a distant time zone from me. Or just, you know, working busy weekends, I suppose. Core Mountain is a good one. Good suggestion. Look for Translocators, also a good one. Yep, those are all good ways to slow your gameplay down and keep yourself from just driving toward the tech tree constantly. That's actually what turned me off from Feed the Beast in that other game, is that it's so tech tree oriented, and you feel like you have to always make progress, that I would get anxious. Like I literally couldn't sleep at night sometimes. I would go to bed like cataloging what I had to do the next day, you know, on like a Saturday, in order to get to the next, you know, level of Thaumcraft or whatever, or Blood Magic, or some of the crazier tech trees. So yeah, you kind of just have to just train yourself to slow down, smell the roses, identify goals other than upgrades. Like honestly, the Bronze Age is a really comfy place to be because you have access to basically all building materials. There really isn't anything that you can build that requires iron that I can think of, aside from like cementation furnaces, which is like, okay, whatever. That's not like a necessary build. Actually, I don't think you really need iron to build one. You just need iron to get, to use it, really. And to get olivine. Does olivine require iron? No, that's bronze, I think. I'm pretty sure. But to crush it, I think, requires iron. Oop, almost chopped my floor off from underneath me. Hey there, Lilac Astro and Bryguy 0052 and NF and WO14PRC. Welcome to all of you. This is already a larger crowd than I was expecting. Thanks for being here. Get down and get enough seeds to replenish these. Oh yeah, we're good on seeds. There we go. Yes, you do require iron pounder caps for pounding olivine. Let's see, let's scoot on to another 20 question. Scenario, who's in chat tonight, asks, if you had to choose between a mount or a pack animal added to Vintage Story, which one would you pick? Well, I mean, we're already at this point, we know we're getting mounts. So I feel like my answer might be a little cheesy because I could just say pack animal because we're getting the mounts already anyway. But if I didn't know we were getting one and I had to choose, I'd probably say mounts. Unless I was playing without mods. Because I use the CarryOn mod, so that helps, with inventory issues a lot. So I would probably go for mounts. Except, although, I say that, but now I'm rethinking that. I really don't feel like Vintage Story is ready for mounts yet. As a game, it's not ready for it. I think that Tyrant needs to change the terrain generation quite a bit. Like, here in the desert, camels, Arabian horses, sure, they'd be fine. But a lot of the game, and remember, we're using a modded landform generator called Vanilla Plus, which kind of smooths out some of the real crazy terrain. Like, especially the jagged stuff that you get from the game's default Perlin noise generator. And in those terrains, which are very common, all those sort of weird swampy areas like, I guess we won't see any here. But like in a forest here, or I don't see any of the crazy swampy stuff, but like up in here and over here and this bumpy terrain down here to the south, a mount would just be a nightmare unless they have a very tall step. But also the super duper deep holes, I feel like mounts should automatically avoid them or stop you from going down them, and that maybe you'd be required to like jump down in order to make them jump down. I don't know, but I've played around with Feverstone's horses for a bit, and it was just impractical because you get on your horse, you're like, I got this horse that took forever to train, by the way, not my favorite thing in the mod, and gonna go for a nice ride, and oh, there's a 70 block deep pit. Goodbye, horse that I just spent 30 hours training. Yeah, the holes in the terrain are bad enough on foot. I just no thanks. So in that case, I would say a pack animal that flies. Better give me an Argent Davis from Ark. I'll take one of those, please. Actually, I'll take. They're small. I'll take two. Can I get this tree? Ish. Sure, why not? The moose was prepped for mounts. Yeah, I bet it was. I wonder if we'll get to ride moose, because they're big enough. If not nice enough, but big enough. I do wonder, were there actual historical peoples who would ride elk? Like, like we're gonna get in this game and like you'd see with Princess Mononoke? If anybody knows, put it in chat and hope that I see it. Wouldn't be a problem if Dave is your mount. Yeah, you're right about that. I think it'd be really cool if we could actually go to Dave at some point. I always thought it'd be really cool to have like a sort of instanced adventure / dungeon kind of thing, where like maybe, when the rifts appear, if you have, you know, the right Jonas parts, you could actually jump into the rift like this, and you'd go to some sort of Rust world thing, and it wouldn't stop your music. And then you could go and like maybe fix the multidimensional clock that that powers the world, and it would give you the ability to say, "Hey, I want to turn down or turn up temporal storms, or I want to change the temporal stability of a particular area." I think that'd be really cool. Somehow I doubt Tyron has that in his plans, but I have seen or heard mentioned that he's looking to, at some point, allow the player some greater level of control over temporal stability through the story primarily. But I think it would be cool to have it in sort of an instance thing that resets occasionally to give the game more longevity. Not that it needs it, given that it took us 500 hours to get through the first season of the Guide series, and we still... I mean, there were still features that I had not touched on in that game, or in that world. You like the ability to drag two mountain goats with a saddlebag? Yep, that'd be pretty cool too. I wouldn't mind animals with leash. And I know Tyron did some preliminary work on leashes a while back, but those efforts didn't go super far, as I recall. Yeah, I guess we'll bust you down, even though I really can't carry you. Oh yeah, so you can jump through the rift, and then maybe at some point in this story, like once that gets developed more, you could eventually go and like turn Dave into like a Shadow of the Colossus dungeon. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Stick, 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 yes. This is the stickage we needed. Oh, there's stuff in you. Darn. You go in here now. Bye. Also, by the way, this copper roof ridge. Multiply this by, I think it's going to be 1.5. That's how many plates worth of copper this represents. So multiply that by 2. That's how many ingots of copper this represents. So we're talking like, I guess 129 copper ingots just sitting here casually that we got from that ruin the other day. Nutty. Absolutely nutty. This is indeed a sticky situation, but alright, do we have enough space in here for all of these? Oops, wrong box. I think so. I do think I'll make a couple crates, probably out of the acacia, honestly. But it might be nice to have a couple different colors. I have a sneakling suspicion that we will be sleeping tonight. I wonder why I have that feeling. Grab the stuff over here. And let's see. Pop up here and shave you bald. Which reminds me, I've got a real life story for you guys. Speaking of shaving things bald, ever since the pandemic started, the pandemic, y'all know which one. Well, my wife's been cutting my hair with a pair of trimmers we got from Amazon. And this past weekend, we settled in for a haircut. It was getting kind of shaggy. And she's like, "number 5 on top, right?" I'm like, "Yep." She grabs the plastic guard. I turn around, sit down. She fiddles with something else on the trimmer, and gets to work shaving my head with the trimmers. And then she gets one part of one stripe through, and realizes she's given me an off-bore aircraft carrier runway straight down to the scalp. And yeah, so the real life Kurazar is a lot balder than he usually is. Yeah, so I'm not gonna let her live it down. It is now out there in the world. It is public. So, and she was just so shocked she didn't know what to do. I just said, "Well, you better finish the deed. Better finish what you started." In for a penny, in for a pound. Cool, that is all the trees we have there. You got an accidental shave on the side of your head? Yeah, that's I'm living that. Actually, you know what? It's nice. I've been told I have the #1 head-shaped head. So it's not so bad. And my grandfather on my mother's side was bald, which means I am going to be bald eventually too. No matter what I do. So it's not that different, to be honest. Let's see, we have some more seeds. Flintstones are not seeds. There we go. And how's our food doing? Plenty of food. I did get a comment. Someone helpfully mentioned that we have to have an air block above here for stuff to not spoil so fast. So, ooh, fresh for 1 hour. That's problematic. But yeah, so this should now last a good deal longer. I am thinking maybe I should make a second crock, or I could just be silly and put this into bowls. And then I can cook that other meal up. We still have 4 days of this. And now, this won't spoil. 3 hours. We got 3 hours to cook this stuff. Let's go! Run, run, run! Alright, we'll just do, I think that. Actually, no, hang on. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to run over here as fast as I can. Oh, the rift went away. Sweet. I'm going to snag some onions. And then we will have us a better meal. This stream brought to you by HelloFresh. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, I'm also kidding about the onions too, I guess. No onions for me yet. 5/7. Stunted growth. I guess we're having a lot of red meat. We're going to need a bigger outhouse, guys. Alrighty. The timer does stop once you heat it up, but it picks up again once it cools down, so I'm going to go ahead and where... Once upon a time... Here's a torch. No, sand works fine in a cellar. It is considered a soil block, so it will work just fine there. Unfortunately, you can't actually tell, so here's a goofy thing, is if you right-click on this and you hover over it, so 1.4 years, 1.3 years, 70 days, if I then crouch, put that there, it doesn't update because you opened it while it was still open to the air. Wait, it did update. Interesting. I've never seen that before. But it didn't update much. Like, these guys got a little bit more. But yeah, if we dig under and then open it down there, it should be a lot better. Am I planning to make a greenhouse for winter wobbly boost? No. There really isn't a point in the desert. It is low rift activity, and I don't see any or hear anybody. I might just grab this bad boy and at least go and take out our papyrus over here. I do have the music on. I guess I have a question for everybody. Is the music at a good level for, like, hearing? Can you hear both the music and the game sounds and me? I had turned it down a long time ago because I had a few complaints about, in some older videos, about the music drowning out my voice. And then I changed how I do my voice, but I didn't update the music a whole lot, or the game sounds. So if the music is really low, I'd like to know so I can turn it back up. It's hard for me to tell because using headphones when I edit, I hear a lot of the lower level sounds a lot better because these are really good headphones. But I do know that sometimes if I'm listening to my videos on my computer speakers, I do have trouble hearing the music. It's perfect, it's fine. Okay. Well, if things change, let me know. I actually am dampening the sound from the game by about 5 decibels, so I could turn it up a little bit, without too much of a change. But if it's not a concern, then it's not a concern. Okay, Okay, so I guess the consensus is don't tinker with the music. It's a good level. Duly noted. I will not tinker with the music. All right, so we have a lot of food. We're good on food for a little while, which is perfect because we got a lot of chores ahead of us. Good, and we're going to just turn all these into skeps. And why do you do that? It used to prioritize your inventory when you crafted. Now it prioritizes your whatever inventory you have open. Welcome, APEC. Welcome to the channel. Good to see you here. Welcome, Colin McDonald. Anybody else I haven't seen yet? I don't think so. I got everybody. Let's see. Let's drop some skeps. Some skepage. Also, the pick block mod needs to be base game, by the way. That isn't my opinion. That is just raw fact. Coming from the other block game, the inability to pick a block with middle mouse click is absolutely essential. Yes, we are going to pan today. We're just not getting to it yet. I have a few chores to do before that, and then we'll get to panning. I want to blow a little bit of this scythe on grass, because I got the sticks that we can do some more pit kiln stuff, especially because we're getting into... We're getting near the Iron Age. I don't know that we'll go straight for it right now, but we are at the point where we could. We have a lead on some iron. We have bronze tools, so we could just go to the Iron Age. In which case, we're going to need a lot of fire clay bricks, which means a lot of pit kilns, and that means grass and sticks. So I want to just sort of bang out a bunch of chores tonight. Panning is one of them, but I'll probably save that for last, because I'll be sort of getting sleepy then. I'll be ready to just sort of chill and chat with you guys while I do that. Probably during the day, too. Or at least on a calm night. But yeah, grass and sticks, man. I do wish there was a way to speed up grass even more. Like, maybe with a higher level scythe, you get a wider AoE effect, or a faster animation or something. I don't know. Yeah, the pick block is just so good. I got a bunch of questions about it in the first season where they were like, don't you have that ability? I was like, no, the game doesn't have it. And when you are, you're underground and you just, pop through a translocator and you realize there's like a bell or a bunch of drifters nearby and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta build a wall real quick. And maybe you're not too deep, but there's so there's dirt nearby. It saves time fumbling through inventory to find the thing you need. Or even just constructing, just building. Like, I've got 6 stacks of, say, plaster, like in the first season. And I gotta burn through them all. It's like, I don't want to have to fill up my bar with them, because I need that for light and food and tools, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably burn the rest of this scythe, and then probably make another... a bronze scythe at some point. Maybe tonight. That's pretty quick to do. And we're good on coal, so not super worried about that. Yeah, anything that makes inventory juggling less of a thing is good in my book. I think there are legitimate reasons to have complex inventory management, but I think those need to be games that focus on it. I do think Vintage Story could do to be a little more generous with inventory space, for one. Just because as we're getting more and more decorative blocks, and more building blocks and options and flowers and types of food, I really think that adding one slot, like maybe take the baskets, the early game baskets, and the hunters packs that we have now, and just add a slot to each of them. And then maybe, oh, there we go. Maybe for sunflowers. Nah. Maybe for the linen sacks and the leather backpacks, add 2 slots. I think that would go a long way to making the game a bit more comfortable with all the new stuff that keeps getting added. Okay, so I think we'll make a bronze scythe, and then as long as it's, well, I think we'll make it morning at that point. But I don't want to settle in for a long panning stint and then have drifters spawn next to us. Just uncomfortable. But yeah, we'll get to panning then. I realize I've been at this for longer than I thought I was. It's already 9:15 here. Nice, it fits. All right. So let's, yep, we do have an ingot. I don't have a scythe already. Okay, good. We'll just double check on that. Let's grab our, right, I actually moved this after last stream to make it easier, and I forgot. Oh, and that's right, our torches are actually in there. There we go. You feel like CarryOn is kind of cheaty? I think it can be. It can be abused. I think as far as moving barrels and stuff, it's really handy. As far as inventory goes, I really, like, I keep a basket around usually. Do I have one on me right now? I do. I often forget I have one, honestly. But especially early game, you find your first ruin, and then there's so much stuff there that you gotta, like, take 3 trips. Not my favorite. It's not friendly. It just sort of artificially extends your gameplay time by making you run back and forth 3 times. And that's while you can find new stuff along those routes. Like oftentimes, if you guys watch the first or second season, or even some of this one, going to and from the same place 2 or 3 times, even 7 times, you'll often take a slightly different route, and you'll find something really useful or valuable or interesting. At least, oop, there's I guess we're not doing this smithing tonight. I'm gonna go and sleep because there's a rift literally right there. But yeah, where even was I? I don't know what I was saying anymore. that rift spooked the thought out of me. Nighty night, guys. Thank you, Rift, for being you. Yeesh. We do have drifters here, so let's go ahead and take care of a couple of these guys. Hi, guy. Ow. Boop. Ah, yes, we're talking about CarryOn. Yeah, so I don't know. I think CarryOn's one of those mods where it probably should be part of the base game unless they expand inventories a little bit, like I said earlier. What I don't do is I don't like the CarryOn mod in conjunction with the Better Chests mod, because you can get like steel chests. You can even turn on carrying trunks in the configuration. I keep that off. I only, like, these chests are the biggest thing I can carry, and they are 16 slots. But yeah, if you have like a steel chest, they have something like, I don't know, 64 or 100 and something slots. That's a little goofy to me. And of course you're cold again. Let's get some more coal. The outside of that, I feel, is pretty well balanced. There we go. Speaking of mods, we're going to move on to our next 20 questions question. This comes from Kato, aka Kenneth Bennett. When it comes to Season 3 for the Vintage Story Guide, do you have plans for using the Better Ruins mod? That is actually going to be a, unfortunately, resounding no. Better Ruins, as far as the guide series goes, I try to keep it relatively vanilla, and the QOL mods that I do use are primarily to make it a better experience for me to actually... Oop, oh, forgot about this thing again, as always. For me to be able to do recordings in a timely fashion. So CarryOn is really good for that, because if I'm trying to record a video and I have to run back and forth 10 times to retrieve stuff, that just makes it take longer for me to make the video, which means it takes longer for me to get around to editing, and I end up having to rush things, or I get a shorter video, or I get less sleep. So that's one of the reasons why I have almost any mod on, really. ChiselTools is kind of the same thing. Oh, what else is there? A better Firepit. I spent a lot of time in the first season babysitting. Oh man, the first season babysitting fire pits to make quicklime. Never again. Never again. Just better Firepit. Chuck it in, walk away. It's absolutely worth it. And I don't think better Firepit is cheesy, because I don't like the way that stacks cool down instantly once one of them pops off the top. All right, so there we go. We got our scythe, our new scythe. I suppose you go there, I think. And let's just grab you. Let's make a fresh charcoal pit, and then we'll get to our panning. Fire pit space is kind of limited. You're gonna go outside. Yeah, so Better Ruins is one of those mods that it's so game changing that I'm not going to be using it. I love it. I think it's really cool. I know there are ways to tweak it so it's not quite as cheesy as far as rewards and loot go. But even with that, the sheer number of additional block access that you get is still game breaking when you have a fully otherwise vanilla game. So I will not be using that mod for the guide series. I actually have been working on designs for Season 3, and I started them before I had the idea for Desert Life as a stream. Actually, I was debating, do I do a desert run as the third guide season, or do I do the Desert Life series as something else? And ended up being something else. And I'm quite enjoying it. I'm liking the sort of more chill pace of it. I can sort of play it as I would play it if I was just playing on my own, in a way. I mean, to some extent, I'm doing things differently than I would on my own. I'd probably have a dirt hut. Yeah, so it's a good experience. All right, I need wood. Lots of wood. That's not wood. This is wood. This is also wood. Let's see. I think we're going to need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, I can't hold all that. Okay, that's fine. We'll do more axes, too. Kristen Delgado, first of all, welcome. I haven't seen you yet tonight, so I'll say hello now. Is Vanilla Plus World Gen worth it? So far, I'd say so. It's not a huge change. What it does mostly is it smooths out a lot of the crazier terrain bits. That's its main purpose. It didn't go very well, did it? There we go. And so you're still gonna get some of the crazy stuff, but it's not as wacky as normal terrain generation, and that's mostly what it's for. And for that, I think it's well worth it, honestly. I probably wouldn't use it in a guide series, because it does change the terrain enough that I feel it's no longer vanilla, which is also very true. Tautology moment. And so I wouldn't use it in a vanilla setting, but as far as like a modded setting, sure, yeah, absolutely. All right, it is time for bones and axes. Get a couple of these going on here. And once this charcoal pit is lit, we will get onto the panning. I hope I haven't said, like, after this we'll get to the panning right away, because I tend to do that. A little bit of patented raccoona squirreling going on. That will hurt nobody. Travis, the rivers mod and either the plains and valleys or alpine terrain mod make for great terrain generation. You know, I wish I could say that I agreed, but unfortunately, when I was putting the world together, I couldn't get the rivers mod to work. So I put it on and nothing happened. I didn't find out until I think 2 hours before the first stream or something like that. It might have been like a day before, but I'd already done all my testing. I already picked out the location and everything. I just didn't have time to update the world and change the settings to get the rivers mod in. I've seen screenshots. In fact, we actually have a 20 questions question coming up about it, so I'm not going to talk about it much more now. But yeah, I'll talk about it in a minute. Let's get the last of these up here. I think we need 2 of these and then 1. Should be everything. Oh, and 1 piece of grass. Ooh. There we go. Oh, and actually, I think we just need 1.5. So we'll do this. That should be good. Let's see what we got here. Oops. Get you stacked up. Get you stacked up. You're happy however the stream pans out. You know, I had a thought earlier this evening. I was thinking, you know, what if we did like a Chores stream later on once I've got some clay ovens, and what if I did clay baking, making some bread, and some panning? It could be the pan era. Yep. Yep. That's right. Maximum dad joke. Alright, charcoal pit is lit. That should be good. Let's have a bite to eat. Let's drop this extra bowl down. There we go. And we should make a pan, actually. I'll have one. Here we go. Got a log and a knife. There's our pan. I'm going to drop our spears here. We won't need those. We will need some extra storage. And I am a bad boy about storage here. Oh, here we go. We got, I think, almost two completely empty ones. There. 2 empty storage vessels. We got a little bit more rot. Alright, so here is our bony soil. Let's empty out some more inventory space here. This is almost dead, so we can chuck you. Bye. Tuck you up there. I guess I'll stuff the torches back in here again. That way I don't, like, crouch or in the water and put them out. Because I will. Our hammer can go up. I keep misplacing the hammers there. And I'll just put our oil lamp next to us. Oil pan. And I think we're about ready. Let me move these guys over here so I can access them while we're panning. Do just about like that. And away we go. Let the excitement begin. Hey there, Katie LVT. Welcome to the stream tonight. There we go. So finally, we're getting to the panning that I promised you all. Are you all ready? Waiting with bated breath? Got your beers? Got your bets? So, back into some 20 questions. We have a few more. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Joe Miga asks, do you have any tips on how to search for rock types that, like kimberlite, that generate from the bottom up instead of top down? Yes. Not a fun one. But the way to do it is you drill down. You take core samples. So, get a pickaxe, get it like probably at least a stack and a half, maybe even 2 stacks of rope ladders, and traverse your world, and every kilometer or so, dig down. Straight to the core, and back up if you don't find it. You can, if you're really eagle-eyed and you're really lucky, there are ways to identify potential places where kimberlite and or phyllite might have generated. I don't think we have any examples on our map here. Maybe like under these hills. So where you see a sudden change in terrain plus, oops, did I get anything that? I don't know. terrain plus rock type, there's a chance of it. So I've found it that way once. We got lucky in the first season. I saw a sort of a convergence of 3 rock types in a really kind of weird triangular pattern, and I dug down there and I just found a bunch of kimberlite. So, but then later on, we found another bit of kimberlite just outside of Lupine Ridge. I'm not sure if I had that on a video or if that was something I found like afterward. But yeah, am I panning or just pantomiming? Someone ban him. Just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hello, Carp42. Welcome to the chat. And M Trox. Good to see both of you here. Next up on our list of 20 questions, we have GPedia, aka Girish Manjanath. Have you enjoyed Sunless Sea enough to play through Fallen London on video at some point? I hate to conflate the two. I've played a bit of Fallen London. I didn't enjoy it as much as Sunless Sea. I think because I'm not huge into that sort of visual novel style of play, the basically all text. I like it in Sunless Sea because you get the breaks from it by going, sailing for a little while, the occasional very exciting combat. More fun combat and more intricate combat than Star Sector for sure. But I love Sunless Sea. I do think it's probably coming to an end in the next 12 episodes or so. Probably right around episode 50, which is where Star Sector ended. It's not that I don't like Sunless Sea enough to play Fallen London. I just don't enjoy Fallen London enough, and I also think that it wouldn't be as interesting to play, to watch play. I personally wouldn't watch it. We have Doja Quinn a la Key Westy, and I'm paraphrasing a longer question here. How do you balance being a parent, a husband, an adult, and gaming? I think I've answered something similar to that before, but maybe not quite in the same way. It was a differently phrased question. I kind of optimize my life around hobbies. And I'm also lucky enough that, I married someone who has a similar set of hobbies and is kind of a homebody like myself. So our schedules and our lifestyles are pretty well in sync. Being a parent, I got lucky. We have an absolute unicorn child. We have a girl who will happily read by herself for hours. Multiple tens of hours if we let her. And that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes it's hard to break her concentration from books. But she is generally very well behaved and is happy to entertain herself. In fact, she often doesn't really seek us out for entertainment unless she's like in like a wired mood. So I got lucky there. So that's the parent and husband part. Adulting, again, I got lucky. I work from home now, and even before then, I had a job that was about 5 miles away. Same job, just I work from home now. The office still exists. We just don't use it for anything anymore. It's a server room and like the VP's office, and that's it. So I got lucky there, but I structure my life around making sure I have time for myself. And I'm the kind of person where I do need a lot of me time to recharge. While at least I think, and I hope you'll agree, that I'm relatively extroverted on video and on streams, I'm more of a natural introvert, learned extrovert. I do find that after streams especially, I'm pretty exhausted. It's actually like exhausting, hungry work. on Saturdays after streams, like, I have to go and eat like a bear. So yeah, so it takes it out of me, but I've structured my life around being able to do what I need to do, what I want to do, to sort of just keep myself mentally balanced. So I have a job where I don't work overtime. We basically never work overtime. My job is literally 10 feet from my bedroom. I have a pretty low maintenance house. I have a pretty low maintenance yard. I actually pay people to mow my lawn. It's actually cheaper for them to do it than for me to do it myself. It's weird. Mowers are expensive, yo. And even the gas is starting to get expensive now. Yeah, so all of that leads to me having usually about 2 to 3 hours a night for whatever I want to do. So from 8:30 or so till 11:30, maybe 12 or 1 if I really want to push it, I've got my me time. And it's very important to me. It's not always gaming. Sometimes it's TV or hanging out with Corizette, or getting stuff done. You know, sometimes I get the itch to, like, you know, Windex the windows, or do a little bit of gardening. So it all gets lumped into my me time. And that's how I balance it. Mostly luck. Luck and just making sure my life is structured around making sure that, you know, my needs are met as well as everyone else's in the house. But getting lucky, mostly. Our next question is from Brady. With more animals being added to the game, would you want to see an animal-driven power input like a horse mill? I think that would be awesome, and it would make sense. I do think it should be the kind of thing where you need to keep them fed in order to run the mill, and that if you don't keep them fed, then, like, I guess after a certain point, they wouldn't even, you know, work. They would just stop for a while until you fed them again. I think that's a really great idea, actually. I don't like the existing water power options currently, mostly because they break. Well, at least the ones that I know about from the medieval expansion mod, they break over time, and I think I need to play with it more to figure out what the repair interval is. But I don't like that kind of maintenance. I want to set it and forget it. And because with like farming, you end up with so much more flax than you ever need anyway, or at least, you know, flax grain. I feel like having that extra outlet for getting more power, you know, consistent power, so you're not reliant on wind entirely, is probably the best to do it. Gyro KB, where are you streaming from? My office. It's actually kind of hot in here. My laptop is generating a lot more heat than I thought it would. But we have windows open and we're not doing AC right now, so. Let's see, I saw someone else pop in here. Johnny1441, love your videos. Selston. What? I'm not Selston. Yeah, Gyro, I'm not going to be divulging where I live just yet. Oh, like in general, I'm in the northeast U.S. Take a solid 8 of the U.S. I'm somewhere in there in the northeast U.S. If you can have horse-driven machinery, why not have human-powered ones like the slaves and like Conan? That's a pretty good one. Cart 42, I will neither confirm nor deny that. But I may or may not be from New Hampshire. You always imagine me in Vermont for some reason. Interesting. I will neither confirm nor deny that either. Our last current... Yes, I know Solston's in my chat. I've been razzing him earlier too. Naro is our last current 20 questions question submitter. And they ask, what do you think of the Rivers mod? And how realistic should the vanilla rivers be? So my initial thoughts on the Rivers mod are, it's not ready for prime time yet. I discovered while I was trying to get it working that, well, actually, after I was done trying to get it to work, that you have to unless you're using some non-standard world settings, you have to change the river's generation in the config file pretty dramatically. And I think that's kind of silly. Like, you have to increase the minimum block height by like 50 for it to get it to work. And it's kind of like, okay, why is that not just... Why doesn't it work with a vanilla game by default? Why would you set your defaults to something non-standard? As far as visually, I think they're really cool. I don't like the cave carver mechanism, but it is, it's a mod, and, if you're not a super experienced coder, or even if you are and you're working with a new code base, you might not have the level of knowledge of the code base to make something really intricate out of it. So it's neat. I'd love to use it. I like that it has a water flow direction. And I like that it has the water wheel as an option, and I don't think that one breaks down like the one from Medieval Expansion does. I think it's not ready for prime time. As far as how realistic should vanilla rivers be if they're added, I think it would be cool to have them actually flow downhill. You'd need a really interesting river carver to do that, I think. But it's probably doable. I couldn't tell Timer how to code it, but it's probably doable. With enough time and money, anything is doable, especially with code. I don't think it's worth it to do anything silly like, volumetric water or anything. That would be way too much and too fiddly. I know Space Engineer just is messing around with volumetric water, and it's neat, but yeah, okay. I'll wait to see how it works out. So KD8LVT submitted a 20 question. Probably, is that in chat or is that on the Discord? Could you post it here in the chat for me to see again? I'll answer it then in 30 seconds because of the delay on streams. In the Discord. Can you copy it here? Okay, so KD8LVT, or KD, asks, what do you do for work if you feel comfortable divulging that information? You've mentioned having a non-YouTube job, and you've been curious. I have actually mentioned that before, but I'll answer it again because it's been a long time. And we have time here. We got 8 more days to go. I work in software requirements and quality assurance. I am a man of many hats at our work. I do software for our applications that we support. Would you get out of my face, please? Thank you. Oh, there's stuff in here. Shoot. Why is it doing that? That's irritating. Go into the thing next to me next time. Sorry, guys. Hang on just a moment. I'm going to just empty this into here. Oh, that's full, too. Aha, I knew that. We're also going to go sleep because it is medium rifty. So, yep, going to avoid that like the plague. Here we go. So, yeah, so I work for a web development company. We work on a couple commercial customers' websites. And I basically do everything for our project except for project management and the development of the actual code. So I interface with customers. I gather requirements from them. Once they know what they want, I pass the requirements off to our developer, who then works on it and develops the code for it. And I'm going to wait. Oh, it's calm now. Okay, good. I don't hear any bad guys either, so we're good there. Once it's handed off to them for development, I work on writing test scripts, which is very exciting work, let me tell you. And then once they're done, I test it, enter bugs. I verify everything after it's deployed to production. I answer customer questions, hold meetings, all that jazz. So many hats. And actually, before the pandemic, we actually also had a part of the company that did like external hardware and networking service calls, and I was a Windows administrator and network administrator for a couple local companies, actually a lot of local companies, in conjunction with my boss. And we would install, large servers, desktops, replace parts, monitors, so all the way from simple desktop support all the way to not quite enterprise level application support. Katie says test scripts are such a pain. Yes, they are. So our test scripts are from a QA standpoint. It's not like I'm not writing like unit tests or anything. I'm writing a script to access the site as an end user, and then do a thing and report on whether it works or not. So basically, I'm seeing it as the customer would see it. And Fadery is a game developer. Cool. But yeah, that's my job in a nutshell. A very, very large nutshell. At one point, I fancied myself a game developer. That was one of the things I wanted to do. As a kid, I had a couple ideas for games. I still have some ideas for games, but like I wrote them down, I put them away to get them out of my head, and if for some reason, a friend was saw that and was like, "Hey, I want to write that game," I'd be like, "Here you go." But I really don't have any interest in developing them. Katie says you do full stack node dev. Ah, yes. The guy I work with is a full stack developer. We have a very small team. Yeah, making games is hard. I did actually get to make a game a long time ago. I got a bootleg copy of what's it called, RPG Maker XP, way back in the day. This was back in the day when single core processors were all the rage. And I made a game that was it had about 6 playable hours of game time in it, which took me about 250 hours to actually create. I had a lot of custom sprites. I did custom things like showing character images when they would talk in the dialogue. A lot of custom cutscenes. I had a lot of fun making it. Unfortunately, when I was able to finally buy a legit copy of the application, you can't transfer the translated Japanese version, bootleg version, to the official US translated version. So my game dreams went bye-bye. And then I lost the source stuff for it anyway. So I have an exe that is from, I think, about the 4-hour mark of game time, playtime. It doesn't work. It requires some deal to put in some obscure location in Windows, and even when you do that, it doesn't work. I think you probably have to run it in like an XP emulator. Yeah, I got really excited about that. I was using a fan-made custom battle system too that I really loved. But when I went to try to convert it to the US version, that script didn't work either. And at the time, while I had taken some college courses in development, mostly just in Java, I still didn't quite grok it. I would never have called myself a developer at all. I dabbled a little bit in Slick 2D, which is a Java API or a Java library for 2D games, and that was fun. I basically got a little sprite that could run around and jump and wouldn't sink through the floor. That was my biggest achievement there. We're probably standing on some more stuff, aren't we? Let's open you first. Pile it in. What's this? Phosphorite. Kernite. I can make borax. Nice. Candles too. Yes. It's not a ton of flax and not a ton of candles, but pretty good other stuff too. All right. Bite to eat, and we will do our last piece here. Donnie1441, you just thank you for the support. Wow, thank you so much. Got to go do some real life chores. Thanks for the extra stream. You greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad you were here. Glad for everyone coming, and thanks for the support. That's very generous. Thank you. Jesse Beaver, you finally made it sort of not really on time. Yeah, we're we're about to wind down here. We're coming to the end of the panning. So someone asked if I was going to chop this up into smaller bites. I am not going to. I think that was lake filter, right? That's not in the plan for this, because this is kind of one long stream of consciousness thing. And I don't think it makes for, like, stupendously good viewing. Plus, I also decided not to do that, and then I made the conscious decision to not record. So I am just sending this straight to YouTube, where it will stay up. I'm not removing it from YouTube once we're done. But it's not going to be chopped up into episodes. I'm not sure when they would get published if I did that anyway, so... Yep, the VOD will be staying up, Phaedry. So, not a bad haul today. Not a bad haul. So we got, what do we got? We got a diamond, some uranium, okay. Native silver, some phosphorite, which this is from, well, I think it exists in the game, it's just not used except for in mods. I think this is used for some of the glass or clay making from Bricklayers, I'm pretty sure. Corundum, I think this about the same thing. Bricklayers again. We have a nugget of native gold. We have 3 copper arrowheads, 4 bunny rib cages, 27 flax fibers, 54 bones, a bronze armlet, 5 rusty gears, 11 fluorite, pigment fluorite white. Okay. I know this is also used in Bricklayers too, I'm pretty sure, for the glass, I think. We got flint arrowheads, 2 copper spearheads, a rough peridot, 1 piece of kernite, 1 rough emerald, and 2 candles. All in all, not bad. I think that was pretty good. And we also know that there are... Oh, you know what? Hang on. We have one more piece of bony soil to go retrieve. That I neglected to before we started. I think it was over here. Wasn't it? Maybe we're not going to do that tonight. I don't see it. There was yeah, it was a single piece of bony soil under a tiny little ruin. But now I'm not sure where that ruin was. Jason Yabro, thanks for your support of the stream. Thank you so much. Alright. Well, I think it is time to pack things in. I might go over here and at least harvest what's ready here. Yeah, we'll bring back some of this, ooh, we got flax too. You know, I'll do this at the beginning of the next stream. We'll do a little bit of farming then. How are onions doing? Still 5 out of 7. Yeah. Yep, I think we'll do this at the beginning of next stream, so in just a couple days. Saturday morning. Jason Yarborough, you're asking, have you ever considered playing a game like Raft or Subnautica? Subnautica, no. I'm not. I don't like deep water. Raft is neat. It's not really on my list. I've seen some people play it. It looks neat, but not like something I'm really itching to play. But yeah. So everybody, I'm going to call it here. Thank you all for coming to the stream. This little impromptu, well, not impromptu, we did announce it, like on Sunday, I think. But thanks for coming to this short, sort of off-schedule stream of Chores and 20 questions. If you do have any questions you'd like when we answer in a stream like this, or in a video, drop in a comment with the hashtag 20 questions, or if you're on Discord, which you should be, join the Discord, and you can pop it over in the 20 questions channel over in Discord. So, thank you all for coming, and as always, my name is Chores. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.